Welcome back to my channel, you guys. It's me, CMZ News, and I am here to give some more thoughts about Sandovals' interview with Howie Mandel. I actually thought about some more things after I wrapped up and got back to my desk. I was like, I forgot to say this, I forgot to mention that. So I wanted to come back on. So this will be pretty short, and I probably will forget some more things because I just keep replaying some of it in my head, or people will make different comments or posts about it, so things pop up again. But before I get into that, go ahead and subscribe if you have not, and please leave a comment, like if you watched the interview or if you agree with my thoughts on, or if you have any information, clinical information about narcissists, which apparently Sandoval is one. So one thing I wanted to mention was that I actually do think he looked extremely stressed. Like, he did not look good. I know we don't like Sandoval right now, or we beyond like him. He's despicable. But I think overall he's a nice looking guy. But he looks really like his world's been turned upside down because of his own doing and everyone hates him. He looks like that to me. He was shaky during the interview. And I think that he just really looked upset. Now, whether he's really upset because of hurting so many people, particularly Ariana, or if it's just because the world hates him. Whatever the case, he definitely looked like he had the world of the shoulder of whatever the phrase is. The world, the weight of the world on his shoulders. Who am I, Teresa? Can't get any phrases right. He said that after the news broke, he felt like he was on the run because he was just like one of the most hated men in Hollywood. It was Hollywood, which I believe. I mean, the immense amount of support Ariana's gotten has been vast. I've seen only people who really don't watch the show, like Howie Mandel, or sometimes random commenters on like People news site or different internet pages will be like, people cheat all the time, what's the big deal? Or, well, he did the same thing to Kristen. Like, no, this is not the same. This is not the same deal. So he doesn't have a lot of people on his side, which he also mentioned that, it was really hurtful right now having people that he's been friends with for like 15 years, that he's been at more of their events than Ariana has, and having these people basically throw him to the side. I can understand how that would be hurtful to see who your friends are really in the time of, despair. But this is a situation that you created. This isn't like you lost the Tom Tom bar, or you got fired, and you guys just broke up and she kicked you out because she just didn't want to be with you anymore. Like, you exhibited extremely beyond distrustful behavior. If you could do this in front of your partner with someone who smiles in her face and pretends to be her friend, what could you do to me? Your behavior is scary. And I don't think, if Tom really was my friend and I found this out, I would have to be done. I'm not saying I would maybe never see him again, but it would just be like, I don't know who you are. Maybe I've known who you are this whole time, because again, this isn't the first time he's cheated. So he's pretty much exhibiting behaviors that he's done the whole time. But it would be very scary. But he really was referring a lot to the people that are on the show. I'm sure he does have still some people. He's got his bandmates who probably were all in on the ruse. He's got his family. Now, he's referring to people like Sheena. Sheena's best friends with Ariana. Sheena is actually Ariana's best friend. They're always saying that Raquel and Ariana were best friends. They were not best friends. Raquel and Sheena were extremely close, and we know what she did to Sheena. So he said, people are capitalizing on this, selling merchandise, which is true. Lala capitalized. Now, Lala did go on her Instagram Live, and she clarified, look, I capitalized on something that I said. I didn't capitalize just on your breakup. But she goes, look, if I'm going to capitalize on my breakup, which she did with Randall with her brand new merchandise, she's like, what makes you think I'm not going to capitalize on yours? So she kept it real with that, at least. Kristen's been doing interviews. Kristen filmed again. Jax and Brittany have been giving interviews, but they also have a new podcast. So they've got things that they're giving press for, but everyone just wants to talk about the Sandovals. Here we are nearly 6 weeks later. Tom said, that again, like he was on the run, basically in hiding, and he only now is starting to come out. And it's really not a safe situation for him. As Schwartz advised on Watch What Happened Live, people have been shouting things at him and, threatening to throw things at him. That is never okay to do that to anybody. If I saw him or Raquel, which is a likelihood, I'm not too far from LA. The restaurants are there. They used to always frequent it. I would probably not say anything to him. I think I would just ignore him. Whereas it's Schwartz and Tom and basically all the Vanderpump gang were pretty much well known for being very friendly with fans, especially when they were at the brand locations where we know them from. So I would just ignore him. And Raquel definitely is getting absolutely no attention from me either. He also said, that he was getting like the third degree and grilled, at the reunion and everything. And he doesn't feel like he owes Lala or James a breakdown of actually what happened. He doesn't owe them the answers or anyone, the answers that we want from him about, like, how could you do this? Why did you do this? How long? When did it start? What day? What time? Did it happen here? Did it happen there? He doesn't owe anybody that. And that's true. He doesn't owe anyone that except for Ariana. And he says that when Ariana wants that information, or if she does want it, he'll give it to her. I doubt he will. I think he'll lie, just like he lied throughout this interview, seemingly. Can she believe anything he says? And does it even matter, really? Because what difference does it make to know it went on 7 months, or it went on 7 days, or it went on 7 hours, or 7 minutes? Like, what difference does it make? It happened, and there's no rewriting and changing the depths of what he did. So Howie, what did Howie say? Oh, so since the interview yesterday, poor little Howie Mandel, he has just been dragged. He said he has never received so much hate tweets and messages and stuff. And that's not right. He said he didn't feel like he needed to do his homework. He knew who Sandoval was. He heard of the show. He knows the show. He knows he was with Ariana. He knows Lisa Vanderpump. He did not feel he needed to do the full research. He wasn't there to interrogate him and to make him clarify things that we all have questions about. I can kind of get that, but I do think how he missed opportunities. He was really just making this sound like some sort of mistake that Sandoval made, and how he said, he doesn't condone affairs or cheating. He's been married 43 years. He also has 2 daughters who are also married. So I thought, okay, obviously Howie knows a thing or two about long-standing relationships and commitment. He's also been in this industry for a long time, and I'm sure Howie's been tempted. Now, he's a germaphobe, apparently. Well, we all know that about him. So I don't know if maybe that would prevent him from straying. I don't know. But with that said, Howie was kind of laughing about it. He's like a comedian or something too, right? So he wasn't taking it too seriously. I think everyone needs to lay off of Howie. I do think he should have been a little bit more informed like, the questions I would have asked Sandoval would have been just like, how do you justify, though, bringing your affair partner around, continuing to bring her around, encouraging friendships, going out together, doing trips together, dressing, I can't emphasize this enough, he dressed up as her for Halloween, the matching necklaces, all the clues, it's almost like they enjoyed seeing how much more they could get away with. That is not somebody who is remorseful or even cares remotely. I think if you cheat, obviously you don't care about the person you're cheating on with, but things can happen, and emotions, whatever, hormones, I don't know. But the way they went about it was like it was enjoyable, I think, to further humiliate Ariana, because maybe he felt so humiliated by her, and instead of being an adult, and he just didn't behave, in a way that he should have, and given her the respect, or himself, or anybody around him for that matter. Can't even get started on Raquel and the type of woman who would do what she did. But ultimately, I don't think either one of them have remorse. Raquel certainly doesn't. The moral compass is extremely low. It's in the gutter for both of these people. And I don't think, again, this interview did his reputation any justice. I don't know who his PR team is. Now, I did work in public relations a little bit when I was younger, and my PR strategy for Tom would be 1,000% take responsibility for what you've done. There's no I'm sorry, but. He's got a but behind everything. Oh, that's another thing. He also said Ariana never apologized for anything. She also doesn't want to hear I'm sorry, especially if you're going to do it again, which I'm like, yeah, that's the point. Like, don't apologize if you're going to continue to do the same things, you know? Um, but I think I would have, Tom, your strategy is you have to 100% take ownership. You have to say, you know what? I was in a place in my relationship that I could no longer, I no longer could express how I was feeling or whatever the case may be, or he did so much putting it back on her that it just made it like any time that he almost started to make sense, it just didn't matter anymore. But he needed to just take ownership. Like, I was feeling this way, and instead of facing those feelings in therapy, because we were in therapy, and instead of working on them, I made the selfish decision to satisfy my needs instead of figuring out what I could do to better my relationship with my partner, or how to get out of this relationship so that everyone felt respected and that we ended a beautiful relationship that we had. But instead of that, I ruined all chances of that by behaving very selfishly. But, you know, I fell in, or no, not but, however, I fell in love with someone who was a friend, and blah, blah, you know, and everyone knows the age old story of we started off as friends and just talking, and there's no amount of, we would still be eye rolling. But if he just took ownership of it, said we crossed boundaries and lines, and before I knew it, there was no stopping, and there is no excuse for what we did. It was almost like we just, you know, because I think he described it as magnets and all this. Okay, all that's fine. This isn't a love story. Okay, this is a lust, idiotic story. Okay. So I don't know. I'll have to think a little bit more about my PR strategy, but it would absolutely be you take 100% ownership. 100% ownership, and 100% Ariana is the victim in this. You're the culprit. You are the one who just couldn't say no to the temptation, and you 100% take ownership for it. You know, he hasn't acted like someone who's remorseful. He hasn't left the home. He's the one who cheated. He should have seriously left. Of course, that's his house. He needs to get in there to do things. They have a mediator. They could talk to somebody about when he's going to be there. He made it sound like also that he has no money to leave. All their money is tied up and stuff. He also brought up Coachella, which is interesting because Coachella is this weekend. And he mentioned that when he was talking to Ariana about breaking up the Valentine's weekend, that she mentioned the Coachella house. She said, well, that's a lot of money. You know, we've got the Coachella house. Now, to a lot of people that it makes sense. But what I took that as is they rented a really big house for the Coachella festival. They've been going for years. That's actually one of the first places I think that they made the relationship official, apparently, Ariana and Tom. And then there was rumors, remember, that Tom and Raquel made out in Coachella. So, and when this affair information first came out, they said that they had no remorse and that Tom and Raquel were worried about being able to go to Coachella. Now, they can go to Coachella. There's no one's going to say, you guys can't come in, or I don't think anything like that'll happen. And not everybody watches Vanderpump Rules, but this did get pretty big. And I think there will be some heckling and things like that if they do attend this. People are going to be on a lot of substances at this festival. It could be potentially dangerous for him to attend this, and also for Raquel to attend it. So we'll see. But I think that's where his headspace is about throwing that in there. And I just thought it was interesting that he even mentioned Coachella. Like, how old are you? Like, don't get me wrong. I know people of all ages go to Coachella. Like, it's fine. Like, low-key, I wish I was going, okay? But I need me, like, some accommodations, and I certainly can't go and be walking and roaming around the desert with everybody in the festival. No, I need, like, the VIP seats and, like, a chair and, like, a cover-up and, like, where are we going after this? Like, where's the food? Anyway, so with that said, so that is pretty much my takeaways from it. Lala is on Watch What Happens Live tonight. We have a new episode of Vanderpump Rules tonight. I'm going to watch it. Just put my daughter to bed. So once she's all settled and the house is, you know, settled down, you know how that is, I will turn that on. But go ahead and comment down below if you have anything else to add to this. And if I think of anything else, I don't think there'll be a part 3. But I am so ready just for the reunion. Sheena gets married tonight. Congratulations, Sheena. Love you. And that is all. So go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe.